Hello and welcome to my first YouTube video about horse training. I'm making this little intro to put out an introduction and a little disclaimer as well. So my name is Lydia and I have been training horses casually for a few years now, just for friends who have problems and a couple a little more professionally. But I decided to do this Mustang competition as sort of a bucket list thing. I've never done anything like this before, so if you're watching these videos to try and get professional training advice, that's not what you're gonna get. I encourage you to take a look at what I do so you can learn from my mistakes, because this is my first competition. I'm guaranteed to make mistakes, and that's kind of a part of the fun. For me, I'm making these videos so that I can look back and see how much I improve over the years, as I expect to do this in the future as well. So please enjoy, and yeah, just take it all with a grain of salt. Okay, here comes day one. So this is when we first noticed that he was my draw. I had a friend with me and she noticed his face markings and was like, "Oh my gosh, Lydia, that's your horse." And I told her no way. I had a small red roan. But sure enough, that was him digging a hole while all the other horses were just calmly standing. So I kind of knew I was in for a bit of a challenge, but that if I directed his energy in the right way, he would be very willing to learn things. So here he is loading up. He went straight in. A lot of the horses tried to jump out of the panels and were just difficult, but he went in pretty well.
You got him.
So here he is into his corral, which I didn't even build. I was so sick the day before the pickup that I had to have a ton of friends come and build it for me, which was amazing.
Good boy. He's so pretty.
One of the first things I noticed about him was his trot and how he lifts his legs up super high as he moves around. I thought maybe it was just because of the tall grass and the drag line, but he has continued to trot like that ever since the grass has gone down. Okay, and now we are to the training session. Day one didn't start for me until about 3 days after pickup, because of how sick I was. Maybe 2 days, I can't quite remember. So here I'm just rewarding him when he turns and faces me and looks at me. I'm rewarding him by getting out of his space and giving him a release by backing up. So when I approach him, I wait for him to look at me and give me good eye contact. Asking for a little more here because, oh, there it is. And then I back up and he gets that release. And he starts to look at me for longer, and then I ask for more, and yeah. So he was getting a little uncomfortable inside, and so I took him outside to see if that would make any difference, and it definitely did. So here I'm doing the same thing, just approach and retreat. So I decided to match his movements a little bit and kind of keep him in one spot so he knows that I'm in control, and he got a little nervous about that and freaked out a little bit. So I kept him moving nice and calmly until he decided to face up with me and give me his attention. So here you can see that he is warming up and starting to take steps towards me. That was a really good sign. Sometimes that can mean that they're getting ready to lunge at you or attack you, and they're testing you to see if you're going to back up. So I had to make sure he wasn't doing that, but no, he was just curious. So there was a really good, nice, confident step towards me. So I gave that one a big reward, and I think I went and got a drink of water and came back. So you can see here that he's still pretty nervous. He can't decide if I'm trustworthy or not. He's really tense in his face and in his muscles. His breathing is really hard. He doesn't look too overwhelmed, but he's definitely feeling a little frozen. So yeah, we just kept this up, and we had a few steps back a couple of times, but he ended up warming back up and coming closer to me. So during this day, he never really came up and fully sniffed my hand or touched my hand, but he did get very confident in walking up to me and getting close to doing it, but then he would chicken out. You can see here he's a little less hesitant to start walking up, but he's still nervous. He definitely got more confident when I sat down and got a little smaller. But still, he wasn't about to hang around me. He just wanted to sniff and leave. So it started raining and we went back inside, which, looking back, wasn't the greatest move. I'd already been working with him for a long time. And yeah, so he seemed to be doing well, but he must have been feeling a little cornered because right here you can see he's getting nervous. And there it is. He ended up lunging at me. And I didn't really see that coming. I should have seen it coming, but that's a part of the learning process. So after he did that, I just reacted back with the same amount of force and got him moving. And yeah, here he ate out of my hand, and that was really exciting. Wow. Okay, that was day 1 with a wild Mustang. I was overall very pleased with how it went. I was feeling the pressure a little bit after seeing all the progress that everybody else had made. And I'd already been sick for several days, and a lot of people already had tags off, and they could already touch their Mustangs, and I was feeling a little pressure. So looking back, I wish I would have cut the time a little shorter and not worked with him quite as much, because I think it was just a lot for the first day. I probably spent about 4 hours working with him on and off with maybe 15-minute breaks to charge my phone. So yeah, wish I would have worked with him maybe a little less. And that was about my only regret of the day, but it was really good. A lizard! Okay, so I'm in Florida, and I've been looking for a lizard, and I just saw my lizard, so thank you for sharing that experience with me. Anyways, so yeah, I was overall very pleased with how it went. If you're curious about him, you can learn more about him on my Facebook page. He has a little Facebook page about his training progress. I think it's just called Lydia's Mustang Challenge 2022, or you could just search my name, Lydia Cottrell, and you'll find it eventually. Yeah, but about him, he is a 3-year-old gelding from the Stinking Water Herd Management Area. If you don't know what any of that means, I would encourage you to take a look at the Bureau of Land Management page about wild horses, and that'll explain how they gather, why they gather, and the specific herds. So if you're curious about that, I will see if I can leave a link in the description so that you can check it out. But yeah, I really like him. I would definitely keep him if I had the resources to do so, but I already have a horse, and 1 horse is too much for me. So yeah, that is a little bit about him and a little bit about how today went. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below in the comments section, and I will either address them in the next video or I will just get back to you with another comment. Thank you again, and looking forward to day 2.